What's up, y'all? It's FTKComputer. How's it going? I'm doing well. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my last tea time video. A lot of you seem to like it. I enjoyed doing it. I love helping you guys with your issues going on in your life. So, yeah, thank you to everybody who sent me questions. If you need some advice or you want a question to be featured on tea time, send the questions to FTKQuestions@gmail, no spaces. And yeah, hopefully one day it'll end up on the channel. So let's jump right into today's question. All right, let me pull it up on my phone. 1 second. All right, dear FTK, this question may not be something you have an answer for, but I want to ask anyway. I have seen you talk about hair before during a live chat, and I remember seeing that picture where you have long hair. I currently am struggling Oh, y'all. Okay, y'all, just real quick, before you send an email, just proofread it once, because since I have to read it, I'm already like, it's awkward reading out loud. I haven't done it since like school, like not elementary school, maybe high school. But like, I have to read it out loud, and like, if it's the typos, I feel stupid saying it. So just proofread. I'm not, I'm just saying, just like in the future. All right, I'm gonna just start it over. I'm sorry. This is the second one that's had like a weird typo that sounds weird when I say it. Okay, sorry. Starting the question over. Not gonna get distracted no more. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, dear FTK, this question may not be something you have an answer for, but I want to ask anyway. I have seen you talk about hair before during a live chat, and I remember seeing that picture where you have long hair. I am struggling currently with my hair. I'm a girl with short, nappy, type 4 hair, and I hate it. I always wear wigs, but I want my hair to grow and be more confident wearing it out. Do you have any tips on growing hair, and how can I learn to love my own hair? Okay, so before I give my advice on this question, I kind of want to fill some of y'all in, because I know a lot of y'all are probably going to be lost here. I'm going to do a lot of generalizations here. I'm not going to go in depth. This is just not my lane. But if you are in the comments and you have more experience when it comes to hair and hair types, feel free to, fill in the blanks here. So everyone's hair has a pattern to it. And when I'm talking about hair, I'm not talking about like your head of hair, like, the entire thing. I'm talking about individual strands of your hair. So like, if you were to pull a strand of your hair out and put it on a table, it would have some kind of shape or flow or movement to it. Does that make sense? I think it does. So remember, being general here, the hair type system was, I think what it's used for is so that people can find like products and styles that are more likely to work on hair textures similar to theirs, right? And the system is divided. It goes from type 1 to type 4 hair, and then it's subdivided into A, B, and C, just so that the categories can be more specific. So in a generalizing here, so I don't want nobody to come for me in the comments, type 1 hair would be like East Asian hair, like, silky, straight, fine hair, right? Then type 2 would be what you would consider like maybe European or Caucasian hair, where the hair is still mostly straight, but it has more of a wave to it. Then type 3 hair is curly hair, which is pretty vast, right? Like any hair that has like a spiral shape to it. And then type 4 is what we would consider like heavily textured or coily hair, where it's instead of like it's still a curl, but the curl is so tight that it forms like a coil. So like spring, like if you think you pull it and it like snaps back into place. All right, so that's very general. We're here. I think we're still here. Okay. So for this video, we're gonna focusly. What is that word? So for today's video, we are going to focus primarily, got it out, on type 3 and type 4 hair. So curly and coily hair. The reason that type 3 and 4 hair is harder to deal with usually is because your scalp produces oil. And when your hair is straight or wavy, the path that oil has to take to moisturize the whole strand of hair is pretty easy. It's a straight line. But the tighter the curl is, the harder that oil has to work to get to the ends of the hair, which means that the ends of the hair are going to be dry and break off if you don't add moisture to it. So that is why it is a bit harder to like take care of and grow, curly hair and coily hair. Also, you have to remember that hair that's curly and coily are more prone to being tangled or knots. So you have to take time to detangle the hair, and detangling also puts stress on the hair, which can break it off. So there's a lot here and it takes effort. And so we have this system so that people can find people that know what they're talking about with their types of hair so that they can follow suit. So we're talking about type 3 hair and type 4 hair, mostly type 4 hair because of the question. So now let's bring the question back one more time just so y'all can understand. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but the part that's relevant. Okay, she says, I'm currently struggling with my hair. I'm a girl with short, nappy type 4 hair and I hate it. I always wear wigs, but I want my hair to grow and be more confident wearing it out. Do you have any tips on growing hair, and how can I learn to love my own hair? So the two questions are tips on growing hair, how can I learn to love my own hair? So let's start with loving your own hair, because that is far more important in my opinion than just growing your hair. I think before you can even love your hair, because that's a journey, like loving yourself and loving things about yourself that you may be self-conscious about is always a journey. But I think the first thing that I would suggest you do is learn to accept your hair before you can love it, right? And I'm just saying that because you say you always wear wigs. I don't think the goal of wearing a wig should be to hide your hair, right? The goal of a wig usually is to give you, should be, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't want it to seem like I'm telling people what they should and should not think, but this just is my opinion. I don't think that you should be wearing wigs to hide your hair. I think the wigs should be for like having fun with your look, having fun with your style, and trying new things without having to commit to things that could potentially damage your hair. Because as we know, type 4 hair is the hardest it's hard to maintain length because the hair is so coily. So I would suggest start wearing your hair out, and it may be uncomfortable if you're used to hiding your hair behind a wig, but start getting used to wearing your hair out, because at the end of the day, that hair that grows out of your head is your hair. That's your real hair. And I don't know the status of your hair or like what your hair is doing right now, like if it's natural or if it's relaxed. However, I would say another idea that you may want to consider is going to a natural hair stylist and having a consultation about your hair. Find out your hair's porosity, find out what is your hair healthy, is it damaged, what should you do with it, should you trim it, should you cut it? Because I think that having healthy hair is way more important also than having long hair. But for your hair to grow, it has to kind of be healthy first. As I said before, type 4 hair, it's the oil has to work the hardest out of all the hair types to moisturize the strands. So that means that it's so easy for your hair to probably, your hair is growing. I don't think there's no like, it's not that like type 4 hair grows slower in general than like type 3 or type 2 or type 1. It's just that retaining the length of type 4 hair is more difficult. So you just have to put more effort into maintaining the length. But I think going to someone who knows what they're talking about can kind of put you on the right path. Okay, so I also I had to put a break in the video. I consulted a friend because I wanted to get a girl's opinion on this as well, because I mean, as a guy, I'm not really, guys aren't really pressured that much about hair, whereas like with women, it's more of like an expectation for women to be confident in their hair, and like their expectation of women's hair is a lot higher than men's, right? So I talked to one of my friends, and her advice was that learn how to style your hair at every length. So like right now, if your hair is short, learn some really good styles that you can use for short 4C hair. And nowadays there are so many people on Instagram, on YouTube, that are doing bomb hairstyles for your hair type. So like learn how to style your hair at this length, and learn how, as it grows, keep learning how to style it, learn how to keep it protected. She also said to learn how to appreciate your hair in every length. So don't just, when you start obsessing about length, you get so focused on it that you're gonna feel like you're never getting there, right? It's almost like when you're so excited for something to come, or like when you want to get off work and you're like always looking at the clock, it feels like it takes forever. So your hair is gonna be growing, but you don't want to obsess over getting that length that you want, right? Just obsess more over taking care of your hair, keeping your hair healthy, and it will grow. Keeping it moisturized, it'll definitely grow. Now, my personal advice on growing hair. So I just have to preface this advice with saying, like, unfortunately, I do not have type 4 hair. I have type 3 hair, so my hair is curly, and it tends to it's a lot easier for me to retain length. So just keep that in mind. However, over the years, I've definitely put an effort to learn how to take care of my hair, and I would suggest, as far as just in a general context of growing hair, a lot of people follow the lock method. So that's LOC, which stands for leave-in, oil, and then cream, or a curling cream, or a styling product, basically. So I would suggest that, or what I tend to do personally is I put my oil on top of my styling product, because I like to use the oil to seal it in. I live in a place that's very humid, so with humidity, curly hair is gonna frizz up. So I like to have that oil as the barrier. You may want to look. I know one good. So at Target, I don't know if you've ever heard of the brand called Miel, but they have a really good pomegranate and honey line for type 4 hair that I use, because I tend to use stuff that's heavier because it's so hot and humid here. But yeah, it works great. And I also have a friend who uses it, who has type 4 hair, and she loves it. I also really like Talia Wajid's apple and aloe products. I've heard that they work for type 4 hair as well. Talia Wajid's products are very reasonably priced and work amazing. Also, find a good oil for your hair. Oil is great. Keep your hair oiled, because that'll keep it growing. So look into shea oil, or what is it? Black castor oil, argan oil. I personally like argan oil and lavender oil. So argan oil, coconut oil, get a good oil, and yeah, look up some influencers that have type 4 hair. Are they called influencers if they do hair? I don't know, but yeah. So I hope that helped. I'm sorry if I tried my best here. This is not my lane of expertise, but I hope that helps. And for anyone who is struggling with hair, there's so many good hair people online nowadays, so look them up. So sorry I couldn't be more in depth with it. That was as best as I got. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Yeah, if you if you have any questions, send them to ftkquestions@gmail. Buy my merch, watch other videos. I'm gonna be bringing more. I'm gonna be doing more premieres. So if you haven't seen my Resident Evil 4 playlist, watch it. It's a bunch of laughs. I'm gonna try to bring that series back. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.